Oh, it's the yellow light. This is happening.
Me,
Ah!
and Oakley have been enslaved.
Yay!
Dance for your dinner, monkeys.
Houston, we have a problem.
Crazy parents, crazy life.
That's why you listen to me!
But wait a minute, let me change my icon.
And guess what, fuckface?
下一个浪考考耶！
What's up, Bobs?
Babs.
How you living, Bobs?
Guys.
Oh, as one of the Bobs, you need to do a little bit of Bob when we start. All right?
I did some Bob.
There's not just 2 Bobs on this show.
Let's hear your Bob.
Thrice.
There have to be
Bob.
3 Bobs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
And it's
We all need to be Bob.
There's no baby.
Baby.
Aim is cranky.
Where's that baby?
What is up with your kid?
So I think it's something
Is she
that we
just
should really
lounging?
discuss.
As Byram astutely observed, she's quite the procrastinator, ever her aunt's niece.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm really psyched about it. I love the fact that she's like thwarting both of her parents' punctuality. They're like chronic punctuality.
She's gonna be late, and she's gonna leave one of her shoes in there.
Big time. And then she's gonna have eaten all the lunch meats.
She is doing the full-on backstroke at Amy's amniotic fluid.
Yep.
You know, if
she does not giving a fuck in there.
You know, if she was born yesterday, she would have shared a birthday with friend of the pod, Courtney Love. So
Yeah.
you're gonna stop by one day. Who's 50, by the way, does not look a day over 50.
That's intense.
She doesn't look a day over dead. I think is what the goddamn is.
How old
She
would
definitely
Kurt
looks.
be if she
she
hadn't
looks
sent him in?
Kerr would probably be 50.
Oh, I don't know. I think she was older than he was.
Was she?
Yeah.
Let's look this up. Forgive the typing as I look up Cobain.
I think while you look up Cobain, we should discuss like the disaster plan. What if Amy goes into labor during this podcast? How should we handle it? How
I'm boiling water.
Yeah, I'm gonna get towels.
Yes.
And then-
The key thing will be getting the camera pointed at the
Yes.
where we're going to be delivering the baby on the basement floor.
Yes, exactly.
Oh no, wait. Actually, I'll just leave and then we'll drive.
Right. And then yeah, exactly.
Okay, Cobain would have been 47. How crazy is that?
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah, because I guess it's 20 years since he died, and he's part of the 27 club.
Sounds.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but you
27.
you do have the bag ready, right? For when the kid's on its way out, because I know you have disaster plan bags for everything.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
car's been packed for like 3 weeks. But yeah, the whole thing has like pillows and like suitcase and all that stuff. Car seats all ready to go.
Twizzlers.
Yeah.
I hope there are Twizzlers.
There has to be Twizzlers.
I don't
course.
actually think there's any Twizzlers, but
Well, it's all gonna fall apart, and you're just asking for disaster.
alas.
Twizzlers.
You guys, I'm pretty sure that I look like Saddam Hussein in his last days of life today. But
Saddam in his death video was pretty cute, so you're giving yourself a compliment.
yeah, I mean, I just think my hair is a lot like that for our YouTube viewers. I was up late last night comedy. Well, not doing comedy, but watching comedy. And I had sort of a bad performance, but I think it was edifying because I was like, oh shit, I wasn't funny. And I did this bit that was funny the night before, but wasn't funny last night, and I kind of got upset about it. But then I realized what was happening was that now when I'm performing, I'm able to like notice what I'm saying and how people are reacting. Whereas before, I would like black out during the performance because I was so nervous. So it was nice because I was able to notice when I lost the crowd. I mean, it happened that I lost the crowd in like the first second, but I think next time I'll be able to like maybe hold it for a little bit longer. I think my timing is a little bit fucked up, which is, interesting.
Yeah, but it's sometimes like sometimes you just know based on the crowd that even if something's great, it's not going to perform. Like even when
Yeah.
you're like telling a story that you know is funny, like people have to be in the mood to understand it because we're not the type of people who do like slapstick comedy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like our humor takes, it's thoughtful and it's funny. It's like it's smart. So if people
Yeah.
aren't paying attention, if people are expecting like a Chris Tucker to go on stage when you go on stage, they're
Yeah.
gonna be out of their minds.
Yeah. And
My thing is Chris. Yeah, I don't like Chris Tucker and I don't like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is the anti-funny. He is like the
I don't know who
anti-Christ
Kevin Hart
of
is.
comedy. He's the black guy
Who's
who is
that?
in every comedy right now, and like he's everywhere, and he is so not funny.
I did go up after a really funny black guy, so that might have
Oh.
been part of the problem.
Yeah.
Everyone's racist.
Everyone's racist.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Is there a technique that you learn
No.
to deal with that kind of thing?
But I think now that I like am able to sort of pick apart to like hear myself do comedy, I do think that I'll be able to like develop technique.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a way that you can like manage the crowd and like lead the crowd and like kind of guide the crowd into like following what you're doing. And I think that's a whole big part of it.
Right.
It's like there's this whole it's not just like standing up on stage and like saying stuff. There's like this whole like huge technique to it that I have just beginning the surface of. So it's interesting.
But like
Daunting as fuck, but also like really interesting.
if you can like holster a couple of jokes that you know kill, and then if you start to get in the weeds, like you just
Yeah.
whip out your killer joke, like your like super diarrhea
Yeah.
joke that
Right.
always gets laughs.
Right, exactly. My super golden sparkly diarrhea joke. Yeah, like I have this joke about wiping my ass with golden retriever puppies, which always does really well. So if I can ever have like the wherewithal while I'm standing on stage, instead of just like rattling off what I thought I was supposed to say, to be able to like adapt and say a different thing, that's like my goal, I think.
I feel like a really good non sequitur is a good like comedy technique. When you're talking about like family barbecues or like something like that, and then you can just pivot and go, "You ever thought about maybe wiping your ass with a golden retriever puppy?"
Yeah.
That's funny. Like the
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I think it's all well and good to like say that, but when
Yeah,
you're standing
sure.
up on
It's easy
stage,
for
it's
me
like,
to say it
Well,
on a
yeah.
podcast in front of 2 other hosts and 1 viewer.
right.
I mean,
but
on stage it's going to sound a little bit like,
yeah, exactly.
you shit, and a dog. Oh,
And the fur gets tangled in your butthole.
What was the
Yeah.
bit last night that you said?
Funny you should ask, but my bit was how. So I had a week off from work around 4th of July, which was, little baby's due date. So that was super convenient because it meant that I'd be able to like hop in the car and go see the baby. But it also seemed to me like a really opportune time to do like a bunch of hallucinogenic drugs and kind of touch the fabric of the universe. I mean, I'm really trying to find my personal truth, so it felt like I don't know the next time I'm gonna have a week off from work. So it was just like my moral quandary about like doing hallucinogenic drugs around the same time as you having a baby.
So
And like
basically, last week you did meet your niece, and you hung out with her, and you guys went to the park. And
I climbed inside Ava's uterus because I took a bunch of ayahuasca and found the demons in my life.
No wonder Amy was in such a bad mood.
Exactly. It's like I have so many people in my uterus. But it's also about like radical honesty and like how it would have been cool if I could have just called up mom and been like, listen, I might be in a drug-induced trance when this baby comes. Is there any way that you could like drive? But yeah. But yeah, that's
I
it.
assume you did not make that call to mom.
No, and I didn't ever do any drugs because I'm too much of a dork to ever get my hands on anything that isn't just like at least moderately legal. I can only do drugs that are legal for somebody at some point because I'm just too much of a dork. I can't do it.
Have you been reading the articles lately about mushrooms and how they're linked, how scientists have linked them to like a dreaming state?
No.
and that the experiences you have when you're tripping on mushrooms are very much like biologically like dreaming. Like your mind like behaves the same way.
Oh wow.
I think
Which
that there-
which scientists believe is like a way of sorting out your like subconscious. So
Right.
it seems to me like an overall sort of a positive
I think
process.
hallucinogenic drugs are going to play huge roles in like the next step of humanity. Like I think that when they
Yeah.
start to discover like what makes up like sentience and what makes up like the human like soul, if you want, or like the spark of like intelligence, I think that hallucinogenic compounds are going to play a big role in that. And I think that they're going to find other ways to use them. Like I know that there's been people have had a lot of success, particularly you mentioned ayahuasca. Like people kick heroin on ayahuasca because you go and you take ayahuasca and it puts the fear of God into you, and you're suddenly confronted with all the fucked up shit you've done in your life and everything that's horrible about you and wrong, and you cannot bear to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I just had dinner with my dad for that. I didn't even realize you needed to take fucking.
Yeah, exactly. I just do this podcast for that.
Yeah. I just show up to work and have people be like, "What the fuck is he doing here?"
But I think that it's a shame that how what we've done to like hallucinogenic drugs. Like I feel like it should be part of your like life's learning to have a psychedelic experience, and that it does form your mind and like give you insights that you wouldn't otherwise have. And it's just a shame that, it's fine it's like regulated or like by prescription, but I do think that it shouldn't be I don't know.